Good morning, everybody. It's Lynn, the leather bag lady, and it is actually morning. It's 9 a.m. What the heck am I doing today? Well, the sanding project starts today. So I parceled up a couple of bags that I sold yesterday. That beautiful denier bucket bag is going to Toronto. My customer in Toronto has the most exquisite taste, Pauline. We have very similar tastes. So whenever I seem to fall in love with something, so does Pauline. So that's on its way. And another really nice bag that I just got recently is finding its way to Orleans, Ontario. Never heard of it. So thank you for those purchases. I appreciate it. And I got another two kind of cool bags today. Where are we? Thursday, 15th of April. The trailer park opens today. However, we have no trailer to go to. But we're excited for all our trailer family and their ability, if they so choose, to go and stay at the park tonight. This time last year, the park was not open until May 15th because of the pandemic. But this year, actually, full disclosure, the park really is only supposed to be accepting people who are using the park as their full-time residents. So the wording's a little ambiguous. There was something online stating that if you have a seasonal contract, if there are utilities, then you're good to go. But one of the park employees said that technically, if it's not your main residence, then you should be staying home. But I can't see that happening. And the trailer will absolutely be Bruce's main residence, so we would be okay. But I'm pretty sure everybody's heading up there this weekend. We're gonna go. Maybe we'll sleep in the car. Who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So cannot wait to see my peeps, Brad and Jules, Carrie and Blair, Dave and Christina. I've seen a lot of, and yeah, that's about it. There's some other people that I don't really know a lot about, but we're the main four in our little group anyway. So that being said, let's get on to the bags. It's a cloudy old day today, which is fine because I'm going to be covered in dust from head to toe. I've started taping off the doorway for the kitchen, and I will be masking off the big pass-through between my living room and my kitchen, hoping that I can contain the dust to some degree. But I'm going to do it in stages. I think I've sectioned the ceiling off. So Bruce is at his parents' tonight, having a family meeting regarding his parents, and I'm not involved in that, obviously. So I've got the rest of the day into the evening to work away at my little task here. But wanted to get all of this out of the way first, which is why I'm chatting to you at 9 a.m. So let's get to the bags. First bag is actually, I wore this sweater, this kind of blush colored sweater in keeping with this first bag. So how cool is this? So I thought this was kind of a good look. It's kind of a corally pink, salmon pink leather. It's a kind of a distressed look leather. It's got a really cool lace detail with a bow, and then the same kind of beigey leather on the straps. Really cool, huh? It opens right up. This is an 80s bag. There's no pockets for phones or anything like that. The interior is in great condition. There's a zip pocket there, and there is a zip closure for the whole bag. So slimline, you're not going to get a ton of stuff in there, but it's quite wide. I think it's about 15 inches wide. So it, you know, it's not tiny, but it definitely is super, super cute and different. You know, just these little bits. And I mean, I guess you could tie this in any way that you wanted if bows wasn't really your thing. But yeah, there you go. Looks really good, huh? So that's bag number 1. I'm having to be careful where I put the bags down because there's just dust everywhere. So bag number 2, I really, 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 really like. I just love this dual color equestrian look bag. So first of all, you've got saddle stitch or belt stitch, whichever you want to call it. Nice black pebbled leather. And then this kind of cool little 3D, it's a horseshoe with a rider going through it. No branding at all. This looks very kind of horse bit-esque. Only on the front. It's not on the back. And then you've got your two-tone black and tan. There are a few areas of cracking. It's not... So there's different types of glazing in my experience. There's kind of like the actual strip of plastic garbage that they put. And then there's this style, which really all it is they've painted the rough edge of the leather. So yes, it does have the ability to crack, but it's not as nasty as that plastic garbage. So there are a few areas, you know, where it's just cracking a little bit. But the straps are in excellent condition. There's no, you know, the stitching hasn't been compromised at all. There is one little damage. This little snap here has come off under here. Now, that's not to say that if you absolutely wanted it, you could have it, because the male, female, both parts are still here. I'll just leave that attached. And if you want to have it reattached, you can. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It sits flat enough. And to be honest, to do the zipper up, I mean, are you gonna snap and unsnap that every time? I know I wouldn't. So it's got a nice base, nice big gusset, couple of little feet, or on each end rather. And yeah. Will it fit on my shoulder? Yeah, just. So, love it. Love the bag. The interior is kind of cool. It's like a houndstooth fabric. Small little phone pouch, which dates it 90s. I'm going to definitely say the whole equestrian style is very 90s. So there's lots of compartments in this bag. So you've got a zippered compartment and then a compartment, a divider with a zipper compartment, another divider with a zipper compartment, and then a couple of slip pockets. So there's lots going on in this bag. The gusset is substantial. So even if, you know, you could pack this bag out, you know, quite significantly. If you want to be able to close it, probably not. Well, could you? Yeah, you still could. Just a nice, attractive, classy looking bag, in my opinion. Very classy. So there you go. That's the 2 bags for today. I've got a couple of really nice bags that I'm listing now. Once I'm finished with you guys, I'll upload the video. And while I'm doing that, I'll be taking pictures and loading up the next 2 bags. And as I said, I'm getting to the end of my little stash, but never fear. There's tons and tons and tons of bags still in my stockpiles. So probably shouldn't be buying any more anyway, but it's an obsession. It's an obsession. It is. It is. We all have our thing, whether you collect cups and saucers or you collect whatever. I was watching Miss Philly this morning and she ran into a thrifter. And what was his thing? I can't remember what she said his thing was. But everybody has their thing. And I see a difference in the stock that's available to me. Since I've switched over to vintage, it's been a lot better because there's a lot of vintage. And people, for whatever reason, don't have an eye for vintage. But I think the most important thing is they don't have a platform for vintage. Now, I follow, as you know, I follow Dion Dean. Who was the other? Dion Dean, and there was one other. Who would that? I can't remember who it was. Dion Dean. Nicole State? No, they don't deal with vintage. But I know Dion Dean loves vintage bags. And she had maybe 8 listings on Etsy. And I just checked the other day and she's gone. So I guess the one thing I would say is for 2 people to stand side by side, have the exact same bag and be able to sell it in the same way doesn't always happen. So when I'm looking at vintage bags in Value Village or Salvation Army or Goodwill, wherever I find myself, I know I have a market. But that market has taken me 18 months to cultivate. And that's, if I haven't mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, in a long time because I'm kind of over a lot of his stuff. But the one thing he does say is you got to have patience. And if these lessons I've learned a lot of lessons and they've been lessons that I had no choice but to learn. And thank goodness I qualified for some of the assistance that was on offer this past year. And I've been able to just, kind of slowly try this Etsy thing. I mean, I dabbled in it before a little bit, but you gotta have a lot of listings. I had a girlfriend recently who wants to start doing some videos, wants to start offering her stuff online. It takes time. It takes time. You have to build up a reputation. You have to build up a number of reviews. You have to build up a number of listings so that people will trust you. And that's something I didn't really consider in the beginning because I know I'm an honest person. So I would never think of ignoring somebody's issue or, that, buyer beware or any of that stuff. I mean, I do give refunds in very limited, for very limited period of time. Not a lot of sellers offer refunds. Definitely don't deal with exchanges or returns, or that's just a pain in the butt. The returns, nobody likes returns. I hate returns. I don't like dealing with an unhappy customer. I mean, that's the last thing I want. Since Christmas, the shipping delays have been insane. So that's been something I've had to deal with a few times. But I guess my point is just be patient, and it will come. And I mean, for me as a seller, a reseller, I look at my month end and it looks pretty impressive some months. But then you got to take all the fees off, the shipping off, the cost of the item, the packaging, you got to try and not get carried away. And that's the difference between me calling myself a hobby business and calling myself a business. I'm just a hobby business. I mean, my business basically helps me out a little bit, but it just pays for itself. And that's all I ask. I don't want to be taking money. I can't take money out of my mortgage account, my daily living account, because there's not enough money in there to sustain my thrift store addiction and paying my mortgage and putting food on the table and heating my home and all the rest of it. So I've, in this past year, separated those things with some degree of success. I now have a savings account with some money in it, and I have a secondary checking account that I run all my bag stuff through. Am I an official business? I'm not. I don't make enough money to be an official business. Do I feel like I'm an official business? I do. I do. I mean, I make some money. But I do know it sounds a lot better than it actually is. So sometimes I have to kind of rein myself back, because it's, you cry poverty on one hand, and then you're like, oh, I made $2,500 this month. And you're like, well, those two things don't match. But out of that $2,500, maybe I made 1,000, which is still wonderful. I don't know. It's just an example. I very rarely make that amount of money a month. But, as far as Etsy's concerned, I'm a very successful seller because of that amount that I've hit a couple of times in the last year. And you listen to the videos, and they hate Etsy and they hate eBay and they hate, you know what? Have your own experience with these platforms. Should you have all your eggs in one basket? No. And I do right now, but once my ceilings are done, I will get back to my virtual shopping channel project with my retirement and long-term care homes. That got kind of halted in a day because we decided to tackle some of the jobs in my house. So anyway, long-winded as usual. So hope you're having a great day. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And join